Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. It's Julie Livingston, and I'm here for another installment of Julie's PR Patter, where I have conversations with the experts in my large network about all aspects of marketing. So I'm really delighted today to have one of my favorite people. I'm going to bring her on. Welcome, Chelsey Pendock. Chelsey is a partner in Innovision Advertising, an advertising agency that specializes in local advertising, buys across the U.S. in local markets. And she does B2B and B2C advertising. And Chelsey, welcome. It's so great to see you.
Thanks for having me, Julie.
So today's topic is about how to get the most value out of your advertising dollars. And I have been so impressed with Chelsey over the years that we know each other. And we first met in a networking group that she actually started, which was fantastic, for New York City marketers. You're so interested and involved in helping your clients get a lot of value out of whatever budget they have for B2B or B2C advertising. So I'm really excited to hear your best tips for making the most of your budget and how to get even more value and more mileage out of your advertising dollars.
Yeah.
Chelsey, share with us some of your tips.
Yeah, absolutely. So first and foremost, I would say it's super important to identify your target audience. It costs a lot to advertise to everyone, and that's not what you need to do. You definitely just need to reach your target audience. So take some time to identify who that target audience is. And then second, I would say definitely be proactive. So plan for the full year. Sometimes I get a lot of clients that'll say, "Oh, I just want to run a little tiny ad campaign and I want to start next week. We have a little goal we need to achieve and I want to kind of get this done right away." Well, that's actually not the best strategy. The best strategy would be to be proactive and plan for the full year. If you plan for the full year, then you can lock in lower rates ahead of time. You can take advantage of frequency discounts, meaning the more ads you purchase, the lower the rate of each ad will be. And then you can also take advantage too of bonuses. So little bonus opportunities that come up. The media outlets do like to reward people who plan in advance and who buy in bulk. So definitely the bonuses is a great thing to take advantage of.
And I have a question about that. I mean, to just advertise be one and done is always the best approach with advertising.
No, yeah, definitely the one and done thing is not a good approach. If you're talking about doing like a short term advertising campaign, yeah, no. I mean, I almost tell clients who say to me, "Oh, I just want to do a short little Facebook campaign, run it for like a month, and then be done with it." I almost say just take that money and go treat yourself to a really nice dinner instead because you're going to get nothing out of that. It's not a planned strategy. Advertising really builds upon itself, especially in the digital world. You need that artificial intelligence and all of the momentum going into these campaigns to make it work for you. These little short campaigns, they really don't do much.
They have a limited effect. I mean, I feel similarly about public relations initiatives. And that's why I start working with clients only on 6-month programs, because first of all, it takes a while to build up that momentum and that visibility, and to just shut it down so quickly, you're sort of shooting yourself in the foot almost. And I think it's similar with advertising. And also, if you are really serious about your marketing and increasing your brand visibility, you might want to also consider having an advertising campaign and a public relations campaign kind of at the same time to really build that brand awareness.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But anyway, let's go back to stretching your advertising budget. That's a great tip, though, to actually plan, be strategic about it, and plan for the entire year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, another thing that I would say to business owners out there is definitely utilize all of the free tools that are currently available to you, such as there's a plethora of online free listings out there. Take advantage of those. Activate your social media channels. If you are a nonprofit, you should definitely research the Google Ad Grant. You could possibly get up to $10,000 in free advertising per month from Google if you're a 501c3. And then,
Tell us more, Chelsey, about these free listings. What is that?
well, free listings are just basically like make sure that you claim your Google listings for one. If you're a retail establishment, a restaurant, any kind of brick and mortar business, you definitely want to stay up to date on your Google hours. A lot of customers will get pretty angry if they come all the way to you and find out that
Right.
you're closed. I mean, you could lose a customer that way. So honestly, it's really important to just stay up to date. A lot of people do research on their phones before they even go to a business. So take advantage of all of the online listings. I mean, Yelp is not as popular anymore, but Yelp, everything, Foursquare, Google is the main one, but there are a ton
That's
of
great.
listings out there.
And that's the kind of thing that people might overlook.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, as business owners, we tend to get very, drawn into our day to day with the business. But really, it's important to just take a few minutes out of your day, update those Google listings, the Google hours. Definitely just look into online, even little things like yellowpages.com and stuff like that. These can all help your SEO too, making you become more visible and found in a Google search. So I definitely recommend people take
That's
advantage of
great.
that.
Those are great tips. Okay. How else might you stretch your advertising dollars?
You want to strategically choose your media channels. So once you know who your target audience is, that's when you want to do your media research and find out which media channels align with that target audience. So if I'm a I'll just keep it simple, like a manicure pedicure business, I'm not going to be advertising in the Super Bowl or Sunday Night Football. It doesn't
Right.
make sense.
Right. You probably don't have the budget for that anyway.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, yes, exactly. Don't waste your ad dollars in places where your target audience is not going, especially in 2022, what we're in now. There are so many targeted features with digital advertising that if you wanted to, you can reach left handed golfers. So,
Wow.
find out as much information as you can about your current audience because they're going to closely match your future prospective audience, the target audience that you're going after, and then pick the media channels strategically to align with those.
Oh, that's great advice. That's great advice. Um, how is it in terms of we're getting close to the end of the year? Is it too late for companies to think about a fourth quarter campaign, a digital campaign, let's say?
Yeah, I mean, at this point in the year, they may have missed the mark already in terms of print advertising. A lot of the December deadlines were at
They're
the beginning
past.
of November. Yeah. In terms of television, this is always a busy time of year with the holidays, particularly retail coming in, flooding inventory. Um, However, the political season is over, so that does mean that some inventory has cleared up. It's never a good idea to come in last minute though and buy advertising because you're paying premium rates. In terms of um, TV kind of works in the way that if a higher advertiser comes in and they're willing to pay more, they bump out the lower paying advertisers. Unless you have a great relationship, you've planned in advance, you buy everything on an annual deal, that being proactive plan that we spoke about up front, you're a little more secure at keeping your advertising in instead of getting bumped out. But coming in last minute, always expect to pay way more. It's a really it's very expensive and it's a bad idea.
That's good to know. I would imagine that, again, you're doing that one and done kind of thing. So it's better to be more strategic about planning for the entire year and getting the best rates and really thinking it through very clearly.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think definitely plan ahead as much as you can. And know your message too. Make sure that the message aligns with where the timing of your ads and who your ad is reaching. That's super important. A great way to make sure that your advertising dollars are put to good use.
How do you test out the efficacy of your message before you actually go out with it?
Well, with digital advertising, we can actually measure the creative performance. So, like with a video ad, for example, we can see the completion rates for how many people have stayed, so we're tuning into the whole thing, or how many people just we lost them up front. So, with digital, there's a lot more tracking involved. When you get into like traditional media, you kind of have to turn to research focus group type of situations to find out how effective the ads are. You can also just sort of compare, bottom line numbers, or if you do call tracking, those kinds of things, just to see, what are the results up from a certain ad versus another ad that you ran at a different time. But it does get a little trickier with traditional media versus
Right,
tracking
right,
digital.
right. Any other tips about stretching your dollars, your advertising dollars?
Um, I mean, I would say if you have a significant budget, it's definitely worthwhile looking into an ad agency to help you with that. Because it's sort of we have as an ad agency, not to self promote or anything, but as an ad agency, we do have all of the tools available to us and the experience of negotiating, where we can actually get our clients the best deals. If coming in as a business owner, if you're not really familiar with the industry, you may just end up paying a rate card rate, which is like that's their highest rate.
Oh,
You don't need to do that. So you could definitely have a media buyer working for you to negotiate the best deals on your behalf. And also the comfort of knowing that they are holding the media accountable to deliver and that you are getting the reach that you were promised. So it's definitely an extra layer of accountability working with a media buyer as well.
sure. I mean, if there are companies out there that are looking to connect with the right advertising agency, what are some of the things they should look for in a great advertising agency partner?
Yeah, I think if first and foremost, look at what what look at their skill set. So are you looking for someone that can handle all of your creative? Are you starting from scratch? Do you need to have a message created in addition to the ads themselves? Um, Look at their experience with traditional. Do they offer traditional media buying, digital media buying? Another thing that I personally look at is who is the person going to be that's handling my account? Am I going to be having a great conversation with a higher up, and then my account's going to be passed down to a junior level employee? And then I'm going to have to be all over them to, are you handling my account well? Or are things slipping through the cracks? I mean, you just want to make sure that find out the full picture of who's going to be your day-to-day contact and who's going to be handling your account with precision. So I think that for me, that's an important one. We are a small agency, and we do take pride in being the point of contact. So our clients are all working with the owners of the company who are actually handling their account with tremendous detail and precision and pride, because it's our work that's going out there into the world, and we're tied directly with our company.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're so right on with this. I think, you know, being comfortable and able to regularly communicate with um, the vendor who you choose is so critical, because that's how you develop that trust and rapport over time. And I think that's how you get the most out of that partner, is by being able to communicate, seeing that they communicate back, that they're responsive, that they explain things with clarity. I mean, what you do is very detailed and very specialized. So, to have a partner that really explains things, so that in layman's language, so that you as the client can understand, I think that that's a big bonus.
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely want to be communicative. You want to have that trust. And you want to make sure that you're not forgotten. You want to make sure and have trust that the person handling your account genuinely cares. They want to see you succeed. So I think that's another thing as well, is looking at like what kind of a contract are they holding you to? I know like with our agency, we really pride ourselves on earning the business instead of just being locked into a contract. There's certain types of media that you just can't get out of. For example, like with print, if I'm locking in a long-term rate, then we're kind of locked into that. But there's other things that are negotiable. So it's kind of like being transparent about what they can cancel, you
Sure.
know, what you're locked in with, and then that feeling of knowing that they're taking care of you.
Absolutely. That is the number one reason why you pick a particular vendor, that you feel like it's a partnership, a collaboration, and that you can communicate with honesty
Absolutely.
and transparency. Well, Chelsey, thank you so much for joining me today. But let me ask you finally, is there anything else you'd like to add about stretching your advertising dollars?
No, I think those are good tips. If anyone would like to see any more, I do have a YouTube channel called Advice. So feel free to follow it under our Innovision Advertising YouTube channel. There's a lot of free tips there for business owners.
That's great. Well, thanks so much for making the time today, Chelsey. I know I'll see you again very soon. But have a great week, and thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll see
Thanks.
you next time on another installment of Julie's PR Patter.